I'm Brandon Isaacs from TEVA Ag. I'm here with a couple guys from Hutson Inc. out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and we were just looking at corn nodal roots. I've done a previous video about what to look for. Now we're in the field, and we wanted to give you kind of an idea on what it is that you can use on your own operation and really come up with a game plan. Very, very low technology. You just need a shovel, a pocket knife, and in this instance, we've already went ahead and dug the plants up. We took a bucket out there. We had some water in it, so we could go ahead and clean the roots off real easily, or where we could see them real easily. And so the first thing I want you to be able to notice is at the very base right here, we've got our seminal and radical root system. And on this particular instance, these guys have actually done a little bit of a starter fertilizer trial for us. And essentially what we're trying to gauge at this point is we're wanting to see what the difference is early on. And yes, we can go out and look at the plants and stuff like that, and in this instance we could see it from the row. I mean, we could see it easily, but that's just a reflection of what is happening below the surface. And so what we want to see is what is happening below the surface. That way we can kind of get an idea what happens above the surface. So what I like to do is take this root system out of the base here and kind of just move it out of the way, because it helps us be able to count those nodal roots. And so what we're looking at is on these real fine roots, these real skinny ones here, that's our first nodal root system. And at that level, on the first nodal root level, we can max out at 6. On this plant, we have 4. And that usually will come around V2, V3 is whenever we would see that. And then from V3 to V4, we would see our second nodal root level. And so right now, we have our second nodal roots that have started on here. We've got 3, we've got a 4th that is starting to come out. And once we get to the V4, V5 stage, we'll start seeing that third nodal root. That's whenever we need to start looking at decisions on the farm. Nitrogen. Are we going to do a foliar pass? Is there enough yield potential out there to where it justifies the extra expense? In some cases, it might not justify the extra expense. We might say, hey, and we have a perfect example where we had our non-treated area where we do see a difference in our nodal root count, and we're seeing a difference in the plant. And so does that mean we need to buy stuff to help bring it back from the dead? No, we've already established potential. Now we just want to maximize the potential that we feel like we have left. And the nodal roots will tell us a pretty good amount about that. That is something that you can do on your own farm. That's something that I'm glad to help with. These guys are good about getting out and visiting with farmers and going through that. Just a real quick question from you all: is anything that we would want to make sure farmers are aware of?
Will you talk on how many nodal roots per node potential wise, and
Sure.
what that tells you and what you're looking for?
So on the first level, you can max out at 6. On the second level, you max out at 10. On the third, you max out at 14. On the fourth, you max out at 14 also. And on the fifth, you max out anywhere from 14 to 16. If you take all those together, you can maximize up to 60 nodal roots. Does that mean that you're going to have 60 nodal roots on a corn plant? No, you're not going to. That's a maximum number. That's perfect corn. But if we are seeing a vast majority of those roots there, then yes, we can manage it as a high yield crop. If we're seeing a reduction in those numbers, then we manage it on a lower scale of production. That's where we make money. That's where the farmer makes money. It's managing for the potential, not shooting for the moon when the plant is telling it just can't handle it. It just won't have that number. If there's any other questions you guys have for any of us, feel free to reach out to us at TEVA Ag and even Hutson Inc. And we're happy to help on the farm. We're happy to dive a little bit further into the nodal roots and some other things that you can do on your own farms. Again, thanks for your time. Thanks for viewing. We'll see you later.